Well, good morning, good people. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. It is Taco Tuesday, and I've got to get a little sip of my coffee here. And I hope all your taco dreams come true. We're here at the illustrious, okay, I'm going to call it illustrious, red brick house where we are under construction. And this is the feature site of my studio here. And as always, I appreciate each and every one of you guys, as well as you ladies, being here for the Joe Boo Sports Report. So we have a week and 1 day till training camp opens up next Wednesday, and we'll finally be able to start talking about practice and things going on the football field. Finally, thank God, we're finally going to be able to start talking about that, as opposed to all of the stuff that we get. Now, yesterday, Dak Prescott, in a way, I'm trying to understand who Dak Prescott was throwing under the bus a little bit here, and maybe I'm making more of it than it really is. But he basically went through, I think he was throwing Kellen Moore under the bus a little bit here, as well as some of his receivers, as in Noah Brown. He basically said, you can bank on me not throwing 10 interceptions next year, which case a lot of people were like, Dak Prescott, he's a turnover machine. Well, actually, I want you to actually go through the numbers. Last year was a crazy year, 15 interceptions, okay? Here's the thing. If you take even that year 15 interceptions and go throughout Dak Prescott's career, he only averages 9 interceptions a season. And that's with those 15. If you take those 15 away, it's more like 7 interceptions a season. It's, 8 interceptions a season. Not a whole lot. Basically, Dak was saying about familiarity with the offense and players being in the right spot where they're supposed to be, as well as getting separation and tipped up balls. Because all those things make a difference. If the quarterback is reading you being right here and you're over there and he's throwing over here, guess what? That's an interception. If you are throwing the ball in the wide receiver's hands and they're in his hands and he tips the ball up and it becomes a pick six, that's an interception. And those are things that, yes, the quarterback and the wide receiver not being on the same page, but you have to look at it like there's the teacher and the student, or the boss and the employee. Who's right in this case of there being miscommunication? The boss or the employee? Dak Prescott's the quarterback. You guys are supposed to be reading this stuff together. He's supposed what? My wife is she's giving me the side eye. But no, if I am the guy who's in charge and you're supposed to be okay, regardless, you can look at it however you want to. Whatever the case may be, they weren't on the same page, and we had plays that weren't good by the receivers, and we had a lack of separation. And if you take those things in consideration right there, just take the tipped up balls, that reduces a couple of those interceptions right there. If you get some separation and not having to throw more tight window passes than anybody else in the NFL, that will reduce the amount of interceptions that you throw. Now, here's the thing. We have so many people out here on a daily basis reading comments. I hear people say, we're never going to win as long as we have Dak Prescott. Well, that may be the case, but I don't see it where you get rid of Dak Prescott that we're still winning. Because we haven't won with or without Dak since the 90s, when we had a great team all the way around. You got the number one defense, taking the football away with 5 Hall of Famers. You're kind of doing a lot of good things with a lot of good players. Troy Aikman didn't do that shit by himself. But one AFC executive actually said this. Let me pull up the article here. Let me read the article real quick. Dallas star, Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott actually rose in polls of the NFL's top quarterbacks in the NFL per Jeremy Fowler, despite having a down season by his usual standards. That may be because Tom Brady retired. The two-time Pro Bowler moved up from 10th to 9th. He's been the top 10 quarterback for a few years now, the AFC executive said to Fowler. Best part of his game that was so great was his ability to run the ball and throw more play action off of that. They haven't had that much with weapons on the outside. But I'm not down on him. He's accurate. He can extend the plays. He's elite in his coaching decision. Despite missing 5 games, here of course is the shade thrown on him. Despite missing 5 games due to a hand injury, Prescott threw an NFL high 15 interceptions, which was also tied with the Texas quarterback. His 238 passing yards per game were also his fewest since 2017, which might be correlation to running the ball more and having lack of weapons that can get open in big plays and yards after catch. The excitement generated by Dallas NFC wildcard round win over Tampa Bay was canceled out with the team's dispiriting defeat to the San Francisco 49ers in the divisional round. Prescott went 23 of 37 for 206 yards, 1 TD and 2 interceptions, with an offense that gained a total of 282 yards. So that tells you right there. Here's the thing. They became one-dimensional. They had 74 yards of rushing the football. 74 yards in the playoffs, not getting it done. When it comes to turnover problems, at least, Prescott is optimistic about 2023 season and won't see more of the same. I know who I am, and you can go back and take half of those drops, he said. I'm not saying it's on the receivers, but if we cut those in half, we start talking about those, nobody is talking about it. Yeah. So bank it. Dak Prescott won't have more than 10 turnovers, 10 interceptions. There's going to be some fumbles. There's always some fumbles. But I believe that having Brandon Cooks, who can get some separation. Yes, he's an older player now. He's not the same guy he used to be maybe a few years ago. But I can guarantee you he will get more separation than Noah Brown did and Michael Gallup of what led. And Michael Gallup now having another year to recover from the ACL should be better, should be closer to the guy he was about 3 years ago than he was last year. So those things put into the fact that the Dallas Cowboys are keeping some of the things that they do, but changing some of the things that they also do as well is going to make them less predictable. Those factors put together, to me, as a whole, is going to make Dak Prescott more effective. And in this article, you hear about them talking about how, the AFC executive talks about how good he is in play action. Yeah, and moving the pocket, as well as hurry up offense. Sometimes those are the things that we failed to do when we had the opportunities or should have done them more. I will also throw in there having 12 personnel. Hopefully with Mike McCarthy having his analytics crew and actually changing up from the young guy, Kellen Moore, to hopefully a better offense that will be in better shape than we were last year. So that's what we have for you to get started for the day. It's going to be nice that in a week we're going to be talking about the team headed to Oxnard, and I can't wait. So, time for me to get to work. You guys are up to date, and we're going to see what we're going to see. All right, peace. Got to get the pencil.